Congratulations. This seems to be a great time to be Jeff Beck.
Yeah,
All appearances.
yeah, you could say that.
First of all,
I don't know what's
congratulations.
gone wrong. Talk about.
Well, things have gone well for you always, but it seems like everyone's talking about Jeff Beck right now. This album's doing so well. What's it like putting such a great piece of work together and having people notice it?
I had no idea. I mean, I just knew that there's a couple of tracks on there that I really liked, and I've been playing them, you know. I mean, not now, but I was when we were making the record. So that was a first indication. I thought, well, if I could bear to listen to them, you know, in my own time, that's a fair. I mean, it's just lucky that I seem to have pushed a few buttons to get to people, and that's really what music is for, isn't it? Communication. Very pleased.
Why now do you think things are going so? I mean, this album's a great record, but you've been everywhere and people are just really appreciating what you do.
Yeah, I've just been goofing off too much, I suppose, on self-indulgent stuff, maybe. But nevertheless, it has to be said that I've been working hard with the different bands and just disappearing and then reappearing with another band and just having a good time, really, without too much attention to being a star or anything like that. Just, you know, cut to the chase. Let's get the rock and roll on the stage, cheapest way possible, and have fun. And that's really what I'm used to doing. But it's cost prohibitive now, touring, unless you really know what you're doing and you've got to guarantee a certain amount of people. And it's nice to have an album that's selling more than 24, you know. It all helps.
What do you do when you disappear and when you goof off? What is Jeff Beck up to?
I've got a full workshop at home in lieu of the gigs that didn't seem to be around in the 90s and the 80s and some of the 70s. And so I make myself busy there, and I don't know where the money came from, but it was wearing pretty thin until maybe about 5-10 years ago. And I just, you know, concentrate on touring, go home and die, then wake up again. That's how it's been, really. But I pushed hard to get this record sounding really good.
It's such a beautiful record. It does sound great. It's special in lots of ways. How proud are you of what you've?
I'm becoming more proud of them while you talk. It's just a nice feeling that I can transport people away from the worries or whatever, and you know, get them to sob and get them to jump up and down. It's amazing, the power of music. And to think that right now, with such unrest and all the terrorism and all the rest of it, that people can still find time to listen to this kind of music.
But knowing that your music can transport people to that kind of place as an artist, when you look out at the crowd and you see them feeling the way they should, what's that like for you at this
Doesn't
point?
get better. I mean, I saw grown men weeping the other night. A few women as well, which is nice. When I start things like Over the Rainbow, I can find out how many women there are in the audience. San Diego was amazing. Well, I was that close to them. Sometimes there's a big gap between, you know, and the lights, when they're following your face, you don't see anybody until the house lights go up at the end. But San Diego I saw right up close. A lovely feeling. That's why we do what we do, I guess. You know?
And talk about your audiences now, because my guess is they're all over the place. Probably young people coming out discovering you for the first time, and old fans who knew you from the beginning. What's that feeling like?
That's the best feeling. I'm signing CDs for 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 15. Japan, there's a little kid there of 7 who, I think he's 7 or 8, who's learnt one of my solos off so perfect. It just, I mean, nothing touches me more than to have that thing happen, you know. So, yeah, it's grand. And maybe it'd be nice to be around for another few months to watch and see what happens, you know.
Yeah.
Once the word gets out.
As it should. And it's not only the fans, but you also have fans and artists that want to play with you. Know, there are people that come out to your shows. I know John Mayer was just at your gig. You're always doing stuff with Joss, like you're on the new record, and everyone else. What's that demand like? Knowing that people want you on a record, they're trying to be on your records.
It's a very nice feeling, I have to tell you. I mean, isn't that what music is about? It's about giving birth to music. It's about nurturing friendships, and it draws the nicest people, you know. The only other sport, or the only other occupation is probably hot rods. I mean, the way that the families get involved, and they're just harmless. It's harmless fun, really. Yeah, I'm sure there's a million other occupations, but that for me, that's it. I see that sport growing, and music growing over the last 30, 40 years. They're all pretty nice people, pretty level-headed and nice people.
Talk the guitar itself. Is there a day that goes by that you don't have it in your hand? Is it something that's still part of your life every day?
No, I mean, I feel really bad. I feel really weird if I haven't played it at least once, even if it's just a quick pickup before the left shoe goes on. I better, if I put that shoe on, I'll be out of the door, so I better practice before that shoe goes on. At least I can say that day I did play. I mean, I'm cheating myself. You're not going to get away with anything if you don't. And I just spoke to this delicious violinist from Japan who practices 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day, minimum. I just couldn't imagine. I mean, I always think I'm dedicated, but that's you have to with a violin. If you don't, you're going to sound like I don't know what. Guitar, they got frets so that you can cover up a multitude of mistakes. With a violin, you've got no frets, and it's going to show on you if you don't practice.
But people have been speaking to your ability for over 40 years. Is how amazing you are even back then. But is that something you still need to kind of feel and still work on, or is it like breathing at this point?
Oh no, I haven't scratched the surface really. When I listen to the real players, I mean, like John McLaughlin, Django Reinhardt will straighten you right out first thing in the morning. Best not to go there really if you're not feeling on top of the world. That should be left alone, and as a great big sort of lesson. If you think you're getting good, just listen to Django or John, or a multitude of others. I just chose those two because they're part of my life, part of my influence.
Anyone coming up in the ranks that you look at and think, this person's got what it takes?
Any one of those guys that are in, and girls as well. The girl that was in Jennifer Batten, who was in with Michael Jackson, and now the Australian girl. There's lots of young players, but the best place to look is the Crossroads Festival. They're all great players. I'm not going to pick one out because they're all going to think they're the best, and they're all there.
Having new music now to kind of add to your history and to your catalog, what's that feeling like as an artist, knowing it's not all about the past for you? Going on this tour, it's about kind of charting something new. That must be a great feeling as well.
Yeah. It's a pretty worrying feeling when you commit to having an album processed and mastered, and you think that's it. No matter what I do now, that solo stays, and it's pretty awesome. And then not knowing how it's going to be received and how the new material is going to be received. I've seen so many bands come on with a brand new album's worth of material, and the people don't want to know. And yet, if you keep at it, that moment will be history, and that's the moment they're going to be going, play that. At the time, they didn't want to know, but it'll be nostalgia in time. So you've got to stand your ground and say, I'm doing this now, and you will love this in 10 years' time or 5 years' time.
When you look back over the years and you see the times when Yardbirds were compared to the Stones and you were compared to Clapton, there's so many of those comparisons throughout the years. What was it like for you at the time, and how has it been to kind of transcend all that?
It was rough. I mean, when Hendrix came along, we were all having a rough time. Overnight, let's put it like that. I mean, it was just like someone pulling the curtain down on your career. But then it went up again in a couple of weeks, but I thought, right, now I know what I've got to do after all the misery. But it's been amazing that I've somehow managed to jump across the river, get to the other side. I think I have anyway. I better look. Just stay out of trouble by doing your own things and try to be as true to yourself, I mean, what's true? I mean, I've covered rainbow over the rainbow, what I mean? I couldn't write that. I wish I could. So the fulfillment will be in writing something that comes from here, and it's nobody else's, that's mine, and this is my interpretation. But at the moment, I can't write songs as good as well as that.
But you're doing all right. All right.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure, Jeff. Real pleasure talking to you.
Have a little bit more of Jeff, please, Sean.
No.
A bit more of what? Over here.
That's all you're going to get.
Oh, a little bit more of Jeff.
All verbal.
These are left to right. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just went because it's